Well, today the country commemorates Human Rights Day. In March 1960, the Sharpeville community embarked on a march to protest against past laws. Apartheid police shot and killed 69 protesters. The tragedy came to be known as the Sharpeville Massacre. Now, we commemorate this today with an event at the George Atabe Sports Ground, where President Ramaphosa will deliver the keynote address. ENCA's Govan Whittles is in Sharpeville for us. Govan, thanks a lot for joining us this morning. What exactly can we anticipate ahead of the proceedings?
Well, Faith, we know that the President will be addressing the main event at the cricket stadium not far from here, but right now we're at the Pelindaba grave site. This is where the victims of that Sharpeville massacre, all 69 of them, were buried after the 1960 massacre, of course. And every year we have the human rights celebration happening in different parts of the country, but we definitely see every year the PAC members returning to the grave site to pay tribute to those who fell victim to the brutal apartheid regime's massacre that happened on this day. And today is no different. Behind me you will see the members of the PAC that are busy singing. They were celebrating earlier and also just paying homage to their fallen comrades. But I am joined now to talk more about the PAC, the spokesperson for the Pan-Africanist Congress, Mr. Jackie Saroke. Thank you so much for your time, sir. It's been decades since the massacre happened, and yet the PAC still remembers what happened and honors its fallen brothers and sisters in the same way. Reflecting back to that massacre, what are some of the thoughts that come to mind?
Look, this happened to innocent people whose lives were massacred, who were killed because the apartheid regime had no regard for them. Today we are repurposing ourselves. We are putting up the value system that is based on the 69 victims of 1960, and we say they truly reflect the saying and the mantra that says the tree of liberty will be watered by the blood of our martyrs. There's no nation that can go anywhere if it forgets where it comes from, and our new nation is premised on the sacrifice, the suffering, and the service that people have made to bring about freedom and the human rights culture that we now enjoy.
When we look back at the strength that the PAC had during the anti-apartheid struggle and the path that it's traversed now, particularly looking at the leadership tussles and the state of the organization, what do you think the strengths are of the PAC currently? And leading up to the elections, do you think that you're strong enough to still win seats in Parliament?
Yes, I mean, like everything else, the system continues to change from time to time. And for us in the PAC, we've seen a pendulum swing from time to time. We've been very weak and we've also been very strong. But we have an opportunity now. We have united with all the elements inside the organization that are from elsewhere. We've also been in consultation with members of the community, and we're getting a good reception. And we think we stand a good chance to make more than we've done in this election. We're finding a traction with the electorate, in other words.
Okay, thank you so much. That's Mr. Jackie Saroke, the spokesperson of the Pan-Africanist Congress here at the gravesite where the 69 victims of the Sharpeville massacre were buried. But I am going to be joined now, Faith, by another guest. It's the mayor of Mfuleni, former ANC Reverend, well, still ANC Reverend, Reverend Gift Morane. Thank you so much for your time, sir. So you're the mayor of Mfuleni now. There are a few issues to discuss about the actual gravesite. First of all, it was vandalized not long ago. We see today that one of the main plaques has been destroyed, basically. How do you plan to refurbish this site, and what are you planning for this commemoration of the Sharpeville massacre?
Now that Sharpeville as a whole, UNESCO is having a discussion to declare it a national or international heritage site. Also, this cemetery, I'm hopeful that it will form part of that package. I was talking to the leadership of PAC this morning that I will talk to the district municipality because they are the responsible municipality for this operation. That we should, as we celebrate 60 years next year, we must improve this site to look much more like now a fully blown monument. So there will be discussions, I hope, together with the agency that leads us on issues of heritage to say how can we improve this site to be more like a proper monument, and the entire cemetery. Maybe we lobby that it should form part of the monument because it's where the heroes and heroines are sleeping. So it should not only be the strip, but the entire cemetery should be dedicated to that level that it is a monument site for us.
Beyond refurbishing the actual cemetery, what are your plans to commemorate the Sharpeville massacre and to pay tribute to those who were killed?
You mean today? No, today the president of the country will be here. I'll be welcoming him at the monument. I will be delivering a welcome message there, and the president will give a key message on behalf of the nation. And we are expecting thousands of people from around Gauteng who will also be joining us. But we are also thankful to the families in particular for always availing themselves when this day comes. So we are really saying, even to the media, the coverage that you give to this event really assist us actually to always share with the nation that we haven't forgotten about what happened in 1960.
And what are you doing for those families of the victims and the survivors of the Sharpeville massacre?
There's been a debriefing of families now. They were well debriefed. And my appeal to the families, as a pastor now, I've been saying to them, you don't remain to be a victim forever. There should be a time when now you take over, you take charge of your life. What actually we will actually be working on is to look at their needs, especially the needs of the children who were left by the deceased, making sure that they get education. Because you remember during TRC, one of the recommendation was to say, how do we assist victims actually to pick up the pieces and go? But what actually is quite interesting for me is because the Department of Justice has identified Mfuleni as a strategic area where they will be coming now to say, how do we start to implement the recommendations of the TRC committee? One of the recommendations was to look at the memorial sites. And that's where actually I say I'm going to lobby TRC committee that deals with the victims. How do we improve this site?
Thank you so much, Gif Marane. That's the mayor of Mfuleni, also the ANC reverend. We have run out of time, Faith, but as you can see, the PAC members here are still commemorating the Sharpeville massacre, and the Mfuleni municipality saying they have plans to help the victims' families as well as the survivors of that massacre.
Well, Govan, thank you so much for giving us up-to-date information regarding that. As lest we forget, really, should be the theme. Govan Whittles just giving us the latest in terms of what is to be anticipated ahead of that keynote address that will be delivered by President Cyril Ramaphosa.